Okay, the one we have talked till now, the verb are made easy plus learning the words on the go, making the lists, etc. is definitely a painful thing. It's going to take a lot of time. We're not denying it, but we still feel that's like the most useful method. But let's say you don't have a lot of time, you're trying to find a shorter and easier route, or you don't really target to improve a lot, you're just trying to somehow get some score and get through. There are still some ways people recommend, which we also recommend to students as an alternative. So the things that people call them as the word lists, right? So you have a lot of prep companies that come up with word lists. There are quite a few famous ones that have their word lists that are available in the net. The reason why we are giving this piece of information is that there is information overload at this point of time. That is basically many lists are available. Everyone has their own preferences, choices. So what are the best things that I can pick so that I can work upon? According to us, based on our experience of training students and current GRE pattern, we feel whatever the list that you pick, do not go beyond 2000 words. This is a lot, right? Just don't keep reading the list and then assume that you're done with the list. That's really bad way to learn, and I'm very sure it won't stick to you and help you a lot in the exam. Right, the list would have just 1 to 2 lines explaining the meaning, and then you think, okay, this is what this is, then next. But the chance of remembering is low, as well as you would not know the contextual usage of it. That is the reason why I've been recommending you to search on your own and get this meanings in Cambridge, the Merriam-Webster, so that you know the usage, contextual usage, look at the examples and you remember them better. Right? So, what are the things that I am recommending? Magoosh has a vocabulary builder app. You can use that. That has basic words, intermediate and advanced words. These two are definitely must do. You can also pick this. Altogether, you might have 1000 words or slightly less than that around. That is what you see in that. If you don't have too much of time, maybe you can cut this down. These are definitely good things that you need to definitely do it. What is the best part about this app is that they give you a word and they ask you to select the right answer by giving options. If you select the wrong option, they will ensure that they'll ask that word again, right? You have to answer it multiple times correctly to get through the session. So they have 7 levels, for example, in this. So each would have, ensure that you have some words like 10-15 words in each block, and once you complete the block, you'll move to the next block, etc. Right? So what is good about it is little bit gamified. It will not be that boring. It will be testing you, right? So, and they'll ensure that there is enough repetition of things so that you actually get through the words that you don't know by answering it multiple times, right? So make sure that you constantly keep in touch with this and keep solving this. Even though you've completed it, maybe you can try it again so that you remember those words at regular intervals. Plus this list from PowerScore, this list called repeat offenders. There are 700 words which they feel are like most frequently asked, and that's really a good list as well. This is one good list that you can read, and as well as Prep Scholars word list, which has 357 words. You might find a good number of words overlapping in this, though we don't know the exact count. There will be a good overlap. Altogether, maybe you might have to work around 1500 to 1700 words. It will not be more than 2000 words from combining these three, but it's worth learning these three together. Don't go beyond it. You might have preferences towards Barron's word list or something. Whatever the word list you pick, they are also famous. They are also good. You might see very similar, right? Almost all the word lists have maybe 60-70% of them overlapping. So, but that's okay. You can definitely work on these three. Plus, the other shortcut is ETS guides that you do, the official guide as well as the verbal guide, which are must do according to us. Verbal reasoning practice book. Every word that you come across in this book, you should know the meaning of it. Not just the text completion, sentence equivalence words. Even if you see them in questions of RCs or other places of verbal, make sure that you make them to your own list and write the meanings of them, usage of it, and most of these things have been picked from those as well. I mean, obviously every prep company does that, but still, if by chance you have come across words which are not there in these lists that are there in the CTS books, make sure that you work upon those. This is like the minimum you should do. If you don't have a lot of time, if you're trying to get it done in a short amount of time, this is what I would recommend you to do. This plus this plus this plus ETS guides when you're solving the verbal and all. When you've done solving, make sure that you look those words and see if you don't know meaning of certain words, add them to your own list and get. So obviously we'll have your own list at the end of, you know, solving the questions which you should prepare. How would I prepare the list? The same approach which you have shown earlier. Google them, get the meanings in the Google, Cambridge, Merriam-Webster dictionary, get the sense of how they are applied, the contextual usage, multiple meanings, right? And then you would note them down.